Welcome to the Zoom Crash Course. I'm your instructor, Tara Wilder, and I'm founder of NVivo. It's an online marketing agency dedicated to serving coaches and consultants to support them in creating an online presence that attracts their ideal client and nurtures a relationship with them so they can convert them into leads and paying clients and ultimately grow their business. I am creating this course for two reasons. First, it's that I'm incredibly passionate about the power of the web. It's incredible the tools and technologies, the apps that we have available to us to create unlimited possibilities for us, both personally and professionally. It's incredible. I use it for just having personal meetings with people, with friends and family, and to have sales calls, client calls, to teach courses. I use it for a lot of different things. And I think it's very cool. Business owners or professionals can take what they do offline and convert it to something that they can use online, either fully or part of it at the very least, or maybe even create something new using this virtual tool. I realize that not everybody is technically inclined. We all have our superpowers. Online marketing and online tech are my superpowers. So I want to use my knowledge of tech to help support you so that you can be uplifted to use this powerful tool. And that's the second reason why I created this. So if you have been anxious or fearful or overwhelmed or frustrated with Zoom, this course is designed to give you the basics of what you need to know in order to start a virtual meeting today. There are a lot of features in Zoom, a lot, and that's one of the things that makes it so powerful. However, getting started with it can be a little overwhelming because you don't know what to focus on. So in this course, I'm going to show you exactly the features that you need to focus on to create a virtual meeting for whatever you want to use it for. I encourage you, after you watch this, maybe watch it a second time, and then go and play with Zoom. Try to recreate what I teach you. And then also, if you want, you can go play with those more advanced features. I do point out a couple of the advanced features, but I don't explain them. So you know where those features are if you want to play with it. You don't have to because you don't necessarily need them. If there's a feature that you need and you don't know if Zoom has it, or if you know that Zoom has it and I didn't teach it, then I encourage you to go and read their support articles. My general recommendation to people who aren't tech savvy is if it takes you more than 10 to 15 minutes to figure it out and you don't know anybody who's Zoom savvy, just reach out to their support. I've found them to be so helpful. You can email them, you can chat with them, or you can call them. Sometimes that's just the quickest way to solve your problem. Okay, let's jump right into the Zoom crash course. Here's what I'm going to go over during this crash course. We're going to go over how Zoom works, how to edit your default settings, how to set up a meeting, how to invite participants, and what it looks like inside of a meeting. Here are some facts that I want to give you before we really dive in. First, Zoom is a video conferencing platform. Yes, you can be audio only, but the main part of it is that you can have digital video-based meetings. They have free and paid plans as well, so you don't necessarily need to invest in a paid plan. However, there are some features that people want that are a part of the paid plans, and they're pretty inexpensive. At the time of this recording, there's a plan that's $15 a month that covers a lot of different stuff. And I say at the time of this recording because obviously you may be watching this recording in the future and they've changed their pricing plan. So just go check out what their pricing plan is like, or plans are like. I would give you details of each plan, but it's easier if you just go to their website and check it out because it can change a lot. Zoom requires a software in order to host a meeting, but not necessarily to attend a meeting. Now, we'll talk about that momentarily. It also works on mobile devices, on desktop computers. And when I say desktop computers, I don't mean just PCs, but also Macs. And it also works on your phone. I want to make two very important notes for this program. The first is that you can do a lot of things on Zoom. You can do a lot, but this is a crash course. This is designed to just get you started with hosting meetings. And so that's what this program is about, is to just how to host a basic meeting. I'm a big fan of learning how to use new technology by just playing with it. So this course will give you a foundation of what Zoom is like, and then you can go in and play and discover what else it is that you can do. Their support is really, really, really helpful. So if you have any problems, you can just go and read through their knowledge base or chat with them or call them. One more thing is that sometimes with specific features, there are multiple ways to accomplish the same thing. For example, how you invite somebody to a Zoom meeting. There are so many different ways you can invite people. I will only show you one or two ways to accomplish these things. So if I'm teaching how to do something in this video and you already know how to do it, but you know how to do it in a different way, yes, I want you to know that I know that there are different ways you can do it. I'm just showing you a single way so as to not overwhelm you. The very first steps, obviously, are to sign up for an account and then download it onto your computer. Real quick, I just want to tell you, I'm not going to go through that process of signing up because it's really easy. The process is very easy. We'll go through basic settings later on in the video, but just actually signing up for the program is pretty easy. And then downloading it and installing it on your computer. There are so many different ways because there's a few operating systems. There's Windows and Mac, of course, but then there are different versions. And so it gets a little crazy. So hopefully you know how to install a software on your computer. If not, that page will have instructions or guide you to where you can find instructions. Let's go over what the basic flow of having a Zoom meeting is. So it starts by one person hosts the meeting, and that's you. So you're setting up the virtual space where you are going to meet with other people. The host will give the participants special information about how to join the meeting. I will tell you what that is momentarily, but first just know the host sets up the meeting. The host will send the participants some information, and then those participants use that information to join the meeting. It's pretty simple, just like that. Now, there are two different ways that participants can join the meeting. They can either join on their computer through the software, so they have to download it, or they can download the app onto their mobile device. That's their phone or their tablet. It works on Android and iOS devices. The second way is they can also call a phone number provided by Zoom and enter a special code. So you can use your smartphone to participate in Zoom meetings two different ways. You can do it, I'm just repeating myself, I know, but I just want to be really clear. You can do it through the app, or you can do it like a teleconferencing thing where you actually call a phone number and then enter a special code, and that code will tell you the code will tell Zoom which meeting to send you to. And so the host, what they'll do is send the participants two pieces of information, a special link and also a phone number in that code. And the participants can choose how they want to join the meeting. Obviously, if they choose to call into the meeting like teleconferencing, they're not going to see anything because it's a phone call. That may or may not seem obvious to you, but I just want to be really, really clear on that. If they're on their phone and they're using the app, then yes, they can use the video feature, or they don't have to, but they'll still see everyone else's faces, or if you're sharing your screen, they'll see that, so on and so forth. This is what it looks like. This is an image that I pulled from Zoom, Zoom's website. I will be going into what it looks like on the actual computer and what each button does. We'll go more into that, but I just wanted to show you real quick in case you're wondering, what is Zoom? Like, what does it actually look like? I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more tangible. So this is what it looks like. Obviously, there are 4 people participating. One of them is the host, but as you can see, all 4 of them are equal in size. There's a different way you can set it up, and in terms of like whose camera is showing or not, and we'll go into that later. Like I said before, you don't need to have your video on. So if one of these people were participating but didn't have their video on, then their rectangle would either be black with a general, like a standard or default gray profile picture, or it'll show the profile picture that they uploaded. Let's talk about how to set up a meeting. Now, I will go into the settings of your profile and your account and everything, but I'm going to do it later. I want to first take you through the process of setting up a meeting. And there are 2 ways to do it. There are 2 different meeting types. Every account holder gets something called a personal meeting room ID. That's a special link that's unique to only you, and it will never change. So, and you can use it to create instantaneous meetings. So like if you're chatting with somebody or you send an email and you say, hey, let's talk on Zoom, you just go and grab that link and send it to them. And then you will both go to your meeting space. Super simple. So let me show you how to do that. So here's zoom.us. And I'm already logged in, so I'm going to go click my account. If you're not logged in, it should say log in or sign in, something like that here. And this is a dummy account that I created. It's not my main Zoom account. And this one is using the free plan. So if you have paid for a plan, then you may see other features here as well. So don't worry if you're not seeing it on my page. So what you're going to do, so your personal meeting ID, it's right here. It's under profile. You go to zoom.us/profile. Here's your personal meeting ID. This isn't your ID number, and I'll show you how you can use that later. This is the link. So if you want, you can copy and paste this link into your browser. And when you do that, let me show you. Copy and then paste. Now it opened up the Zoom Zoom software. And now what you see right here is not Chrome, it's not my browser, but it's actually the Zoom software. So, got that. I'm going to close Zoom. That is your personal ID, or personal meeting number, or personal meeting ID. And that's what they call your personal meeting room. The second way you can host a meeting is by pre-scheduling the meeting by just going through a process of creating one. And then you get a special link that is only good for that meeting. So this one, it's not instantaneous. I mean, it's instantaneous in that it takes like just a minute or 2 to set up and then you can use it immediately after. But it's not something that's created already. You have to set it up before the meeting starts. You get a special link that's only good for that meeting. And the benefit of this is that you can customize a lot of different settings that are different from your default settings ahead of time. Let me show you how you can create pre-scheduled meetings. Let's go back to Zoom here. And to the left, you'll see where it says meetings. Click that. And you see 4 different things up here: upcoming meetings, previous meetings, personal meeting room, which is the thing that I showed you earlier, and meeting templates. So let's go to upcoming meetings and let's create a new one. When you have them created already, it'll show up here. And as you can see, it says the user does not have any upcoming meetings. So let's change that. So as you can see here, you can select the topic. I'm going to call it that. You can set up a description. These are things that your participant will see. So if you want to go above and beyond, you can create a meeting description. You select the date and the time. You select the duration. You can So if I did set the date and time for this time, I could start it earlier. I technically could start the meeting earlier. And I could go, theoretically, I could go longer than 1 hour, as long as it's within the scope of the free plan. As you can see here, it's talking about some restrictions. If you want to have 3 or more participants, there's a 40-minute time limit. So, but if it's just you and somebody else, you could go longer than an hour. You could set it to be a recurring meeting. You can set it up so that your meeting ID is something unique, or use your personal ID if you want. You can require a meeting password, and if you do that, then here it gives you the opportunity to type it in. Here are your video settings, audio. So you can offer 2 different options. You can offer telephone, like I told you about earlier, where they call in a phone number. Computer audio, so that's on your computer or on the mobile device or mobile app, or both. If you want to allow the telephone method, you either click that or both, and then what you have to do, see where it says dial from? You click edit, and then what you have to do is type in the name of a country here, and then it'll show you the countries. You click that, and then it'll give you several phone numbers to choose from. Now, the reason why I'm not showing you this is because for a few days now, this feature has not been working for me for some reason. And I reached out to Zoom and asked why, and I'm still waiting back to hear. Actually, it's only been like a day or two, and I'm waiting to hear back from them because of the pandemic, which is when this video is being recorded. Everybody is moving to Zoom, and so they really, really have been overwhelmed with support requests and just people using Zoom, so that's hard on their servers. So that's the only reason why I haven't heard back. I didn't want that to stop me from creating this course for you. So I'm telling you, that's why I'm not showing you how to do it, because for some reason it's not working for me at the moment, and I think that that's just a glitch. And it's probably on my end. I don't know what it is, but Zoom's going to help me out with that. So what you would do is type in the country that you want to offer a phone number to. If you know that you're going to have people globally, then you would just select those other countries, because obviously if you're in the United States and you know that people are coming from the UK and you want to offer a phone number to them to call in, they're not going to be able to call in the US number. I mean, unless they want the international charges and such and such. So anyway, this is how you do that. Click save. Then there are some more meeting options here. Let's go over them. So enable join before host. What that means is if anybody clicks that link and goes to your meeting before you do, it'll actually open up the meeting screen. So this screen right here, it'll actually open it up. And they can wait for you. If you disable this, then they're just going to see a white box that says waiting for host or something like that. Mute participants upon entry. Enable waiting room. If the waiting room is not enabled, if it's disabled, and you're in a meeting and somebody joins, they will automatically join. Their video or their rectangle here will automatically show up. And then they'll be in the meeting and they'll be able to hear and see everything. Waiting room, what that is when they click that link, they will be paused. They won't go to the meeting. You as the host will get a notification saying such and such person is waiting to join. And then you can select when you want to let them enter. So the way I use this is if I have multiple meetings back to back from one another, I have the waiting room enabled, so that way if I'm still on a call with the first person and the second person joins, they're not interrupting or coming in and hearing, private information or whatever it is. They're sitting in the virtual waiting room waiting to be added. And then so as soon as my first call person leaves, then I just add the second person. So I hope that makes sense. And then you have the ability to record your meetings, and so you get to select whether or not you want it to automatically record on your computer. Click Save. Now here is meeting information. If you want, see where it says topic and my test meeting. If you scroll down and look to the right, you can click this here, edit this meeting, and it'll go back to the same screen before. Let's go back to the meetings page. So remember this page here? Click my test meeting. And then you've got all the information you need. This is your meeting ID. Again, I'll show you what that means later. This is your URL, and these are all your different settings. If you know you're going to plan meetings with these specific settings in the future, you can save it as a meeting template. So let us continue. Let's talk about how to send an invitation. Remember, the process is you set up the meeting, or rather you select how you want to host the meeting, whether it's with your personal personal meeting room, or if you're going to set up a meeting like I just showed you, a pre-scheduled one. After you do that, then you need to collect the invitation information and send it to your participants. This is one of those things where there are multiple ways to send an invitation, and this is one method that I'm going to show you. After logging into your account on the Zoom website, go to the meeting page, whether it's your personal meeting room or a pre-scheduled meeting. Find where you can copy the invitation. That's what the link will say, or it'll say something similar. When you click it, it's going to automatically save some content onto your clipboard is what it's called. But basically, so it's adding it, and then what you do is you right-click, you go to whatever method it is that you want to share with your participants, whether it's email, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever it is, and then you paste. Now, I want to be really clear, all these methods, you can use whatever method you want. You can save it into a Word doc if you want. It's up to you. It's just text. This is not something special. So it's just text. Send it to them however you want. So let's take a look at this. Again, remember you can do this with your personal meeting room or with your pre-scheduled meeting. So I'm going to do it with the pre-scheduled meeting that we did. And then, okay, so we're viewing it here. See where it says join URL. If I go to the far right and click copy the invitation, it'll show me the invitation that it's going to copy onto my clipboard. Tara Wilder is inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting. Topic, if I had a description, it would say the description, time, and then here's the link, and here's the meeting ID. Click copy meeting invitation. It says copy to clipboard. So now I'm going to just show you and paste, just like that. To be super clear, I just copied it into just a simple text document. This is not how I'm sending it to anyone. I just wanted to show you how I pasted it. It's saved to my clipboard. Okie dokie. Now I want to show you the Zoom computer app, the program. This is what it looks like. I'm not going to show you the mobile app, but it's very much the same. And also this is a basic meeting or basic course too. So the easiest way to do this is through your computer. Now I have the Zoom program open. See, it's completely separate from my browser. So the Zoom program's open. This is what it looks like. You've got your 4 squares here. The first one, you click to start a new meeting with your personal meeting room. Remember, you can join as a participant. You can join other people's meetings, and how you would do that is click this. And remember that the meeting ID that I was talking about? This is where you would enter it. So let's go back to Chrome. Remember, this is the meeting invitation. This is the meeting ID. So I would copy that and paste it right here, and then that will have me join. I can choose to be muted and to have my video turned off when I first go into the meeting. And that's something that I can always adjust later. I can always turn my audio back on or turn my video back on while we're in the meeting. Here you can schedule a meeting. It's the same exact process that we went through when we started the test meeting. And here's where you can share your screen. All of your pre-scheduled meetings will show up here, and they will show up on a different screen. See these icons right here? You got home, chat, meetings, contacts. Click meetings, and you can see that it shows up here, and your personal meeting ID shows up there. So what I'm going to do is start a new meeting. And this is what it looks like. If I had my camera on, it would be showing up right here. Now, did you notice there was something that popped up there? At the bottom left, you'll see audio settings and video settings. So I'm going to unmute myself. Okay, now I'm speaking. See how it's green? It's showing that it's hearing me, essentially. When I mute myself, what'll happen is if I start talking, Zoom will notify me that I'm muted, which is so great, because if you're muted and then you start talking and you forgot that you're muted, then obviously nobody's going to hear you. So that's Zoom's way of saying, hey, nobody's hearing you right now. So check it out. Now I'm speaking and it's telling me you are muted now, and then it gives me more instructions on how to unmute. To the right of the audio settings and the video settings are these little arrows. When you click them, you have even more settings to play with. You can select your microphone, select a speaker. You can test it out right here. And then there are more things you can do. Video, you can select your camera and then do some more things there. Moving right on to the right, you can invite people from this screen. So remember I said that there are some features where there are multiple ways of doing the thing? This is yet another way you can invite people, but you have to be inside of the meeting to do it. I'm going to let you play with this and click around. I don't want to overwhelm you with that. Click Manage Participants, and it will show you a list of participants. So right now, I'm the only one. But what I'm going to do is join this meeting through my phone, and that way it'll show through my phone and a different account. So that way it'll show another participant. When I click join on my phone, it's asking for the meeting ID. So when I hover over this, it'll show me the meeting ID right here. And so I'm typing it in on my phone. And I'm going to do one more thing. Give me just a second. Okay, and now I'm in the meeting. So I just changed my other name to be TW so you can distinguish between the two. So now it's showing me all the participants. One of the things that's cool is everybody has the ability to mute or unmute themselves. You as the host also can unmute other people too, or mute them. There are a few reasons why you would want to do that. One of the most common reasons is if somebody has background noise happening and it's disrupting the meeting, then you can either ask them to mute themselves, or you can just do it by hovering over and clicking, well, this would say mute if they're unmuted, and then you can mute them. The problem with that, though, and this is more of like a logistics thing, it's not a problem with Zoom, the program, is if you don't tell them that you're muting them, then they will think that everyone can hear them. And if they start speaking, they'll think that they can be heard, but they aren't. So what you can do is just say, hey, there's some background noise. I'm going to mute you, okay? Just raise your hand when you want to speak, something like that. And then you can mute all, unmute all, and then there are more options here. Now notice that the gray bottom at the gray bar at the bottom has disappeared. That's to keep the screen as clean as possible. To make it come back, you just hover over your screen. Check this out. Now, this is called speaker view, what you're seeing right now. So if the videos were on, you would see me right here, and then up here you would also see me, and then here you would see the participant. Of course, if we had our videos on. If there were more participants, there would be more rectangles here. You can also choose to show everybody at the same size. So actually, no, before I get to that, the speaker view, it'll show the active speaker. So right now it's showing me here, but if I start talking, let's see, test. No, it's not going to do it. What'll happen is whoever is speaking will show up here. So if you want everybody to be the same size, just go over here and click gallery view to go into gallery view. Now everybody is the same size. If you want to go back to speaker view, you click this and it goes back to speaker view. All right. Moving right along here, see share. What you can do is share your screen, which is very cool. So I'm going to click that. There are actually a few things that you can share. So first, you can share your entire desktop, which is what I'm doing in this video. You can see my browser still open in the back. I've got a window open. I've got Zoom open here and Zoom open there. There are a few things that I'm doing. Then you can also pick specific windows that you want to show people. So say I didn't want to show Chrome. I didn't want people to see my browser, but I want to show them something on my notepad. So what I'll do is select that, select share. Now notice right here, now it has a green border around it. What that's telling me is that this is what it's showing and nothing else. Notice that the gray bar has disappeared. What's actually happening is there's this little green and red bar here. It's collapsed. So it's hidden just to keep your screen clean. So if you want it to pop back up, you just hover over it. Then you can see that there are some of the options that you saw earlier, and there are some additional options as well. So audio, video, manage participants, new share. These are your shares options. This is pretty cool. Pause share. So if you want it to freeze on this screen for the participants, you click pause share. Anything, now see it's orange. Anything you do, they will not see. So I'm going to say, hello world. They cannot see that right now. And it even says right here, your screen sharing is paused. Resume share. Now they can see this. If you want to stop sharing completely, you, guess what? Click stop share. And now you're back here. Something that's really cool is this chat feature. When you click this, watch the right-hand side. The chat just opened. If I want to close participants, I just click that and click close. So now there's this chat. I can type in a message. It says to everyone. So it means everybody's going to see this. Hey, everybody, or everyone. You can see it says from me to everyone. I'm going to do another one. Then there's another one. Say I want to communicate to a specific participant. I want to communicate to TW. What I'll do is click this and click TW. And now it says privately. Up here it says me to TW privately. It's saved here as TW. And everybody has the ability to do this, not just the host. The participants can do this as well. But obviously if the participants are doing it, you can't see it. Then you can click here to see even more chat options. Okay, so chat, record. Now it's recording the screen. You can pause the recording, which means the file that you get at the end, it'll only be one file. If you stop the recording, you just stopped it, you can start it up again, but now this is file number 2. So now I'll have 2 different recordings. So the only difference is whether or not you have one recording or multiple. If you just want to have one, you just click pause, stop recording. This will save on your computer. Now I will show you that. Let me just make sure there's nothing else I want to show you. If I want to close the chat, I just click chat again, or I can click that, close, and now it's gone. So I've recorded 2 different videos. If I want to end the meeting, I click end meeting here. You can choose to do two different things. You can leave the meeting. What that does is you leave, but all the participants can stay. If you end the meeting, then everyone will be booted out. Let's end the meeting. And that is how you run meetings on Zoom. What I'm going to show you now is how to edit some settings with your account, not with specific meetings. So let's go back to Zoom, or the Zoom website, to be clear. So this is the Zoom website. I'm going to go back to my profile just to start somewhere new, or start anew. You can see that there are a lot of different settings here, and if you want to edit them, you go over here to edit. So there's just a lot of things. I'm not really going to go over each one. You can go and play with that. Right here, actually no, let's go to settings here. There are even more settings. So there are settings for how you schedule a meeting, being in a meeting advanced, email notifications, and other. All of these are here. Go through them. There's a lot. So if you just want to get started with Zoom, you don't need to edit these. Like, I did not edit any settings before starting this video. I just created an account and then just got started right away. So everything that you have seen so far are default settings. Now, just to be clear, in the future, it's possible that Zoom will change some things, but it's not very likely. And if they change anything, it's probably not going to be major. So you don't really need to go through these settings right now unless you really want to. But yeah. And then what you would do is most of them are just on, off. And you would just go over here and toggle it. When it's blue, it means it's on. When it's gray, it's off. Then here under admin, there are even more settings and things that you can play with. Not going to go through it because I want to keep this nice and simple for you. So, to review, again, this is the process of hosting a meeting. First, you will decide if you're going to use your personal meeting room or if you will set up a pre-scheduled meeting. It's up to you. Personally, I always just use my personal meeting room because it's the easiest thing. It saves me a bunch of time. I just have the same link that I've saved somewhere and I just send it to people in an email and say, hey, let's have a call at 2 o'clock. This is the link to click. I don't really need to schedule a pre-scheduled meeting or create a pre-scheduled meeting. But there are a lot of cases where you would want to do that, but I like to keep it simple. If you choose to set up a pre-scheduled meeting, then part of the process is to, guess what, create it. The next step is to grab the meeting invitation details and send it to the participants and then host the meeting. Very, very simple. Here are my recommended next steps for you after you watch this video again, if you want. Go into your personal meeting room and play with the different features. As you saw, I showed you just very basic things. Go play with those basic features, get the hang of that, and then get more advanced if you want. But I showed you all the features that you need just to get started with Zoom today. What I recommend is see if you can have a friend join you on their computer or through the mobile app, because that way you can see what it's like for other participants. Ask them if they'll turn on their camera, or at least like turn on their camera and just like point it away if they don't want to be on camera, whatever. Same with you, turn on your camera and turn it off, see what that looks like. And then practice setting up a pre-scheduled meeting. Even if you don't think that you're going to use it, if you're going to use my method of just using your personal meeting room all the time, go ahead and play with it still. Just take a look, click through it. Psychology shows that if you're repeating the actions of something that you learned, you're more likely to remember it. So it's just good for the whole learning process. I hope this crash course has empowered you to try out Zoom or to continue trying it out if you've tried it and have gotten stuck. I hope it's taken the frustration, the fear, the anxiety, the overwhelm out of it, and that you feel a little bit more comfortable and empowered to use it. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to connect with you, so find me on social media on Facebook and Instagram. My username is I am Tara Wilder, and if you want to check out my websites, I have two, tarawilder.com and also my agency website. It's envivoweb.com.